days. And one more section was added, which is section 166 clause 4, which said that this accident information report AIR, when filed, will be treated by the claims tribunal as a claim petition. Now, what is the object? Object of this was that whenever there is a road accident, the criminal law sets into motion with the registration of FIR. So the legislature thought that even the compensation law should also automatically come into motion with the filing of AIR. So with the filing of FIR, criminal law sets into motion. Now when the SHO files AIR, then the compensation law sets into motion. So no requirement to file even a claim petition. So in 1994, these two provisions were added, but they were not implemented. So 94, a PIL was filed. In not 94, 97, a PIL was filed in Delhi High Court when Justice Y.K. Sabharwal was the Chief Justice. So notice was issued to Delhi Police. So Delhi Police said, we were not aware that such provision has come in the statute book. We have now noted the provision. We have issued instructions. Henceforth, the AIR will be filed strictly in every matter. So that statement was recorded and the matter was closed. 99 and 2000, two more PILs were filed in Delhi High Court, saying that despite the statement given by Delhi Police before in the PIL, still these provisions are not being implemented. So when these two petitions were filed, notice was issued to Delhi Police, and Delhi Police said that no, we are strictly filing AIR within 30 days with the claims tribunal. So notice was issued to the claims tribunal, are you receiving? So all the claims tribunal submitted the report that they have not received, they only receive the copy of FIR. But under the law, copy of FIR cannot be converted or treated as a claim petition. There is a prescribed form of AIR. So therefore, tribunal said we are not doing anything. So that a copy of FIR is of no relevance. So then the court gave a very strict warning to the police and said that henceforth you should file AIR, not copy of FIR. That is not the statutory requirement. So these two cases were also closed with a warning to the Delhi Police. In 2006, General Insurance Council filed a third case before the Supreme Court, saying that these provisions are not being implemented. So notice was issued. Then the Supreme Court in 2006 said that henceforth, the Joint Commissioner of Police shall be responsible if a AIR is not filed by the SHO concerned. So these directions were issued on all India basis, and the third case was closed fourth case was closed in the year 2006. In 2009, the Delhi High Court issued notice to the police saying that please file the status report with respect to the compliance of the Supreme Court directions of 2006. From 6 to 9, how many accidents took place and in how many cases the AIR was filed within 30 days with the claims tribunal. Notice was also issued to the claims tribunal. There were 12 claim tribunals at that time in Delhi, asking them as to whether you are receiving the AIR from the Delhi Police. In response to the notices, the Delhi Police filed an affidavit saying that about 15,000 accidents took place in 3 years, and in all the 15,000 matters, the AIR was filed within 30 days with the respective claims tribunals. All the 12 claim tribunals submitted the report saying that they have not received a single AIR. The matter was then verified and it was found that no AIR was filed, only copy of FIR was being sent, and a wrong statement was made before Delhi High Court. So contempt notice proceedings were initiated on the basis of a wrong stand taken by the police. Now, in the meantime, the Delhi High Court constituted a committee comprising of Secretary Law, Secretary Insurance, Police Commissioner, and the court directed them to take up the matter with all the insurance companies. There were 4 nationalized and 13 private companies at that time, and come up with a solution in which the compensation can be paid within 90 to 120 days, as is there in all developed countries. So that committee did a very commendable work, and that committee came up with a suggestion or solution. They said police is already investigating the matter. Criminal case is already initiated. FIR is there. Police is already doing investigation. if the police be requested to collect some more parameters other than those required for a criminal case. For example, in a death case, what was the age of the person who died? How many family members are there? And what was his income? These three things. And in the case of injury, what is the nature of injury? What is the expenditure on injury? What is the disability suffered? And what is the occupation? What was the income? So these 5-6 things can be added. So they said if the police also verify these things, which is not difficult, they are already doing criminal investigation. So if they collect few data more, it will not put any strain on the system. And then instead of accident information report, they can file a detailed accident report within 30 days. Another suggestion was that when that detailed accident report is filed, let the police produce the driver, owner, claimant, and also eyewitness before the claims tribunal. So there is no issue of service. So once this detailed accident report, which we call DAR, is filed before tribunal, the insurance company said that we will verify all the facts and within 30 days we'll give our offer how much money we are willing to pay. So on 60th day there will be offer. If that amount is fair and reasonable, the award can be passed on 60th day and money will come within 30 days thereafter, meaning thereby on 90th day the money will come to the claimant. If that amount is not fair or not acceptable to the claimants, then the tribunal is not bound by that offer. So tribunal, all the parameters, all the facts are before the tribunal, service is complete. So tribunal can pass a reasoned award accordance with law within 30 days. So meaning thereby on 90th day we get the award and money will come within 30 days thereafter, meaning thereby within 120 days the money comes. So this report was accepted by the court, by the High Court. But at that stage, the Delhi police had got a predicament. They said, no, we are not going to go beyond what is required by us to do under the CRPC. We are a statutory body under CRPC to investigate criminal offences. We are not supposed to collect the evidence required for a civil matter because this is a civil matter. So, but since the contempt proceedings were pending, so finally they agreed to do it for a period of 6 months on the suggestion of the court on a trial basis without prejudice to the rights and contentions. And this order was passed in December 2000, I think 16th December 2009. In the meantime, before the expiry of, and this commenced on 1st April 2010. In the meantime, the Supreme Court in Jayaprakash case, which was pending at that time, the Supreme Court approved of this scheme formulated by Delhi High Court, and the Supreme Court said that henceforth the police will be duty bound to collect the evidence relating to compensation in that criminal matter all over the country. So that became a law in 142. So even after the expiry of 6 months, the procedure which was adopted, that continued and is continuing till date. So on 1st April 2010, this new procedure, which was called as Claims Tribunal Agreed Procedure, came into force. And in first one and a half years, there were 21,000 and odd accidents, out of which 11,000 claimants got the money within 90 to 120 days. Then in 2016, the Supreme Court passed an order saying that henceforth this Claims Tribunal Agreed Procedure should be implemented all over the country. So in the meantime, the Delhi High Court kept on modifying its original scheme and formats were added. You see, initially we had only said detailed accident report. There was no format in 2009. Then in later on, by the subsequent orders, the Delhi High Court incorporated the format, all the formats. Now the last order which is there is of 2018, December 2018. Now in that format, there is a format of the intimation to be given by the police. So within 48 hours, the police has to send a written intimation to the tribunal as well as to the police, giving all the particulars of the accident so that the insurance company can verify. Then within 30 days, the format of the detailed accident report has also been incorporated. Then after 30 days of the DAR, the report of the insurance company, the format of that has also been prepared to streamline the things. Then thereafter, when the matter is heard by the claims tribunal, then the format of the written submissions of both the lawyers is also prepared. Then we have also prepared a format of the mandatory requirements of the award which can be incorporated in the award, so that that can be the passing of the award also becomes simplified after discussing the facts which can be done separately in each matter. Straight away, the entire calculation part, the format of the award is also there. Then there's some compliance of the records, how to be maintained, that format is also been maintained. Then some compliance reports each tribunal has to send to the High Court as to how many cases they got the DAR within 30 days, how many cases they got insurance response within 30 days, in how many cases they passed the award within 30 days. That format is also there by the tribunal to each High Court, respective High Court. So the last order, which is modified order, which we now call as Modified Claims Tribunal Agreed Procedure, is of December 2018. And in the meantime, 2016, the Supreme Court directed this procedure to be applied all over the country. In 2000s, by a subsequent order, the Supreme Court noticed that the Delhi High Court has modified its original scheme, and therefore Supreme Court said the modified procedure should be applied. Then in 2019, the Supreme Court took note of the last modified procedure of 2018 and said that this modified procedure should be applied all over the country. And the Supreme Court noted that it is not being done all over the country. And the Supreme Court said that the NALSA should follow up and ensure the compliance of this procedure all over the country. So with this, now we come to the position now. So this is by virtue of Article 142. So this procedure has attained the enforceability of this procedure all over the country. But unfortunately, it is not being implemented all over the country. So question arises, how to ensure, today the problem here is how to ensure that this procedure is implemented strictly all over the country, and what are the remedies available with the litigant, with the lawyers, with the tribunals to enforce its implementation. You see, now for successful implementation of this procedure, the first role is of the police. Within 30 days, the police has to file a detailed accident report, and they have to produce driver, owner, claimant, and eyewitness before the claims tribunal. If the police do not do this role, then the entire scheme falls. Now nothing can be done further. So first step is required to be that the matter is to be taken up with the state police to ensure that it is implemented. Now question arises, what should we do if the police does not do it? So litigant, to my mind, if the High Courts take up the matter and issue administrative directions to the police, insurance, and tribunals, the matter can be taken up at all the states level. There would not be any difficulty. But question arises, what will a litigant do, or what can a lawyer do? You see, a lawyer and a litigant can straight away, to my mind, they can approach the MSCT first, that please direct the police to file the DAR. They also have a remedy to seek the information under RTI, that how many accidents took place. Number two, how many DARs have been filed within 30 days. Number three, if not filed, please give the names of all the officers who are responsible. Under the Supreme Court judgment of GIC 2006, under the law, each SHO is responsible, and under the 2006 judgment, each joint commissioner is responsible. So to my mind, once this, if somebody invokes it, it can immediately result in the filing of the DARs. Now, once we cross the first barrier, that DAR comes within 30 days. Now, the next is 30 days, the insurance has to file the report in a prescribed format in the judgment. Now, there also again, if the insurance do not do the rule, the matter can be taken up. Now, let's assume the insurance also submit their response. Now, there can also be cases that the tribunal sit over the matter, they don't pass the award within 30 days. Then the matter has to be taken up with the High Court that look. Now the tribunals, to kindly see the nature of MSCT claim is totally different than all other litigations. Let's take a simple case, civil case of a oral loan. A person says, I given an oral loan of 10,000. Defendant says, no, I have not taken an oral loan. Oral evidence is recorded by both the sides and the court has to appreciate. The MSCT case is even simpler than that. Why it is simpler? In a death case, death cannot be faked. Person has actually died. Death certificate is there, post-mortem report is there, FIR is there, complete. So nobody can say that without dying, somebody has said is making a claim that the person has died. So death cannot be faked. Now, second thing required is what was his age. For age also, normally some proof is always there with the family to give the proof of age. So age cannot be faked. Then third thing to be found out is how many family members. Now, how many family members are there, that also cannot be faked. Always there is a matter of record, his wife, children, parents, how many family members are there. Then fourth requirement is how much he was earning. If he is a salaried person, most of the time there is a proof. And then more than half of the cases belong to the lowest strata of the society, where there is no proof of income. And then we have to resort to minimum wages. So there also minimum wages are prescribed, nothing can be faked. So once we know these four parameters, then the law is almost, you can say, now well settled with the judgment of Pranay Sethi. And we have to just do calculation which takes not more than 5 minutes. So ultimately, what are we doing? It is not a adjudication in a manner like we do in a normal civil or criminal case. Similarly, in injury case, a person has suffered injury, injured is present in front of you. If he has suffered a amputation, you can see with your own eyes that there is amputation, and then you can take the parameters of his age, income, occupation, and percentage of disability and calculate the amount. What will not take more than 10 minutes. So therefore, the nature of cases is, and see the volume. Otherwise, if we don't resort to this procedure, then and we let it go like a normal civil case, then we'll have 6 lakh cases in 1 year, meaning thereby 30 lakh cases in 5 years, 60 lakh cases in 10 years. And do we have a paraphernalia to decide to adjudicate such number of cases? We want to do it by like a normal civil trial. And then another important aspect of this matter is that here, if the money is not paid immediately, you see, the sole breadwinner dies, family has nothing to survive, they have nothing to eat, education stops, everything stops. Now, if we give the money after 10 years, by that time, the people have already suffered. So one problem arises when there is an accident. Another problem arises when this legal system is such that we don't give him compensation at that time. I'll share two cases here. In one of the cases, a poor laborer died. So his family was staying somewhere in Bihar. So a ward was passed by the tribunal against which the matter came to appeal in High Court. High Court said, all right, deposit the amount. Subject to deposit, there was a stay. Finally, when I decided the appeal, there was nobody from the claimant side. So we should notice. Now notice was served, but they would not come. So we requested the concerned DCP there to please inform them that we are calling them only to release the compensation. So he sent a report saying that we have informed the claimant, but they say that we don't believe in this system. We have gone there to Delhi so many times after taking loan from the neighbors, which we have not been able to discharge till now. So we are not prepared to come now. And secondly, we have suffered so much during this 1 decade has already passed. Now the compensation is of no use to us. Finally, we requested the insurance officer to their branch office to go and pay the money to them. Then there was one more case where the 2 small children, 3 and 5 years, they were going with their parents from Delhi to Chandigarh. They met with an accident in which both the parents died. So those 2 minor children were brought up by the maternal grandmother, who sold her house, sold the jewelry, sold everything, and somehow brought up the children. So after many years, when we decided the appeal, we called them. By that time, they had become major and they were settled. One of them was married. One of them had gone abroad. So they said, the money is of no value to us. We didn't get the money when we required it. We suffered because of that. We had to sell our house. Even after that, the compensation. Now, what is the use of the compensation you are giving us today? So therefore, like a normal civil case, let's use a property dispute, where even if it is decided after after a long delay, the property of the value of the property appreciates. Even if the next generation, when they get the property, the loss is not that enormous. So delay is not that fatal in other matters. But here the sole breadwinner has died. There's nobody. And I used to call all the claimants before releasing the compensation. And I used to ask them that how much is the expenditure and how they are sustaining without the compensation. And in most of the cases, I found that even the persons belonging to middle class and even little higher middle class, after the relatives only support them for a limited time. After that, they at times have to work in houses to somehow feed the children. So therefore, there is a need. This is a very big social problem. So therefore, there is immediate need, number one, to ensure that there should be full awareness and strict enforcement of all the traffic rules, and so that we reduce the number of accidents. And second is, once the accident has occurred, then money should be immediately paid. Then there's one more problem, one very grave area. You see, under the law, every vehicle on the road is required to be compulsorily insured. And if a vehicle is not insured and is being run on the road, then it is an offense which has got the fine as well as, I think, punishment of 6 months also. But this provision is not being enforced at all. With the result, there are more than 39% vehicles on the road which are not insured. Now, a vehicle which is not insured, there is no insurance company. So from where will and in most of the cases, the driver and owner do not have the capacity to pay. So from where will the claimant get the money? So either the government should enforce this provision with so strictness that no vehicle which is not insured should come on the road. Or then in 2009, in one of the matters, the suggestion given by Delhi High Court was that if the government is not in a position, or government is not serious that they will enforce this, now it results in a serious violation of the right of a citizen on the road. You see, I am crossing the road and the law is there that no uninsured vehicle should be there, and no steps are taken to ensure that uninsured vehicle should not come on the road. Who is responsible? Who will pay the compensation? So then the Delhi High Court suggested that if the government is unable to do it, then the government may consider adopting South African model. You see, in South Africa, no vehicle is required to be insured. All vehicles on the road are deemed to be insured. They collect a cess on the petrol and diesel. That cess is collected as a road accident fund. So that cess is collected as a road accident fund. Any person who suffers with an accident is paid out of that. So then in Jayaprakash judgment, the Supreme Court reiterated this suggestion, and the Supreme Court said that in addition to this petrol and cess, also it should be taken from one more source. It should be taken from when a vehicle is registered. So from every vehicle, when a new registration takes place, you collect a road accident fund. That should also go to the road accident fund. Then in one of the more cases, in the same Rajesh Tyagi matter, in the subsequent order, we noted that in Canada, they are collecting this road accident fund from 3 sources. One, petrol and diesel. Second, from registration of every vehicle. Third, from every license holder, because he's the stakeholder, he's causing accident. And I think it is a very good suggestion. You see, every year when a person goes, whenever a license is issued, you collect a road accident fund. When he comes for renewal, collect a road accident fund. Then from these 3 sources, then in South Africa, they have a road accident commission. So whenever there is an accident, they will first find out, they have got the technical members also, that why the accident has occurred. Is there some problem in the road, or it was the negligence, or what was the reason, or it was a person was drunk, or what are the reasons? And if it is possible, they try to cure those reasons also. Let's assume they find out that there is at a particular road, there's some defect in the road or a flyover, which is causing accidents, and every time it is happening there. So they will immediately have it cured. It is a very good thing which can be done. Now, in the latest amendment, they have not fully, legislature has not fully adopted, but they have created a fund by collecting. That provision has been added that will is being dealt in a separate manner, but not the entire project which we thought. But today, if we see, there is still no enforcement. All of you must have seen how many times you see that when the vehicle is going, they may check the driving license, but do they ever check whether the vehicle is insured? Then in one of the cases, one of the orders in the same case of Videsh Tyagi, the Delhi High Court gave a suggestion that, look, all right, if it is not possible to check the insurance of every vehicle, then let there be a sticker issued so that can be checked immediately without wasting so much time by stopping a vehicle. On the vehicle, you can put a sticker of the insurance, valid insurance. That also insurance did not accept, but then finally, as a trial base in the recent order, they agreed that, all right, this can be done in one of the areas of Delhi. So we are trying to see the effectiveness of this. Then one more suggestion which the Delhi High Court gave, which I think is very simple. You see, to check a driving license, a person has to actually drive. You can't go to his house and say that, please show me your driving license. He will say that, no, I'm not driving. So if a person is driving without license, he has to first drive it on the road. Then only you can check. But a uninsured vehicle cannot be brought on road. So meaning thereby, if the government today starts a survey saying that from on the next coming Sunday, from morning 7 o'clock, we'll check all the vehicles standing in the house in this sector, and whichever vehicle is not insured, we'll put a seal on the steering, because uninsured vehicle cannot be brought on the road. So once this is done, to my mind, many people who even forget, they may not be doing it deliberately, the uninsurance. Let's assume they say that tomorrow morning in one sector we'll check, and they start checking. Everybody will open his book and see whether vehicle is insured or not. And it will become so much of awareness. Then within I think one day, all the people will get the things insured. So this suggestion also the court has given number of times, but as on date, there's no implementation. So meaning thereby, but there has to be will of the government. 39%, just imagine. Let's assume a high professional is going on the road, uninsured vehicle kills him, and the poor driver says, I have no money. What is the purpose of insurance? Purpose of insurance is that the driver may not have the means, owner may not have the means, then let the insurance company pay. But as on date, you see, as we discussed in the beginning, road accidents is a bigger problem than even Corona. 6 lakh. You see, I had also taken out the data how many people died with the different diseases, or how many people die because of the you can say offenses. No other data matches this number. One accident every minute, one death every 3.5 minutes. We are not concerned. No awareness is there, and one of us is going, no. And the people who drive the vehicles on the road, they have no, in our country, it is the least, you can say, rather I'll share one example. In Delhi, in Delhi, there is a cremation ground in New Delhi district. Now that there is, on the road, there's no foot over bridge. So if one goes to that cremation, I think it is Lodi cremation ground, if one has to, if your vehicle is standing across the road and you have to cross the road, you keep on standing there, people will not stop the vehicle. You stand it, keep on giving the hands, fast moving traffic is there. Finally, after waiting for a long time, many times the people run and cross the road, which is not safe. And now let's assume that person is hit by a you see, I remember I went to I think 20 years back, I went to South Korea. So I wanted to cross the road. So when I reached the point, the entire traffic on the road stood. So I was quite surprised that why the traffic has stopped. Then the person who was accompanying me said, they have stopped because you have come to the end of the road to cross the road. So they are respecting your right to cross the road. I was quite surprised. In India, it doesn't happen like this. So cross the road. But here, you stand on the road and you keep on waving your hand, nobody will stop. So when will we start? You see, like for example, we are doing so much awareness about Corona and other things. Why can't we start a campaign? There should be awareness of the road users, vehicle users. The vehicle cannot be permitted to be used as a weapon for death. So there is need to awareness of the road users, vehicle users. We should reduce the number of accidents. But if God forbid accident happen, then we should have a rule of law by which the person gets the money within 90 to 120 days. So this is the you can say judgment made law by which we have tried to you can say bring to a position where person gets money within 90 to 120 days. But let's see how it works out. And the onus is now on the lawyers who can take up the matter and ensure its implementation. Now, under the new system, no requirement to file a case. Everything is automatic, no? This is auto mode. And you see the judgment of, I think Mr. Vikas must have shared the judgment citation and everything. So that must have been there. And there's a number of orders which have been passed in the Desh Tyagi and also the 3 Supreme Court judgments. So
we haven't shared the judgments because otherwise the all impact of the speaking goes. We share it after the sessions invariably.
The citation, so that yes, if you see the judgment, entire formats are there. Nothing is required to be done. If in this system also people are not prepared to work, and you see in the last format, in the same judgment, in the last one format is there that what is the date of accident, what is the date of filing of DAR, why there was delay in filing of DAR, what is the date on which the copy of DAR was given to the insurance, what is the date of report of the insurance, who is responsible for the delay in filing of response by the insurance. And then judgment also says that whenever there is an accident, insurance has to appoint a designated officer by name who will remain responsible for calculating in accordance with law. And later on, if the tribunal finds that there is a delay on the part of IO to file the DAR within time, then the tribunal will pass an order saying that this case got delayed because of the IO. This order should be sent in his personal file to be considered at the time of his promotion. If there is a delay on the part of the designated officer of the insurance company, then tribunal will pass an order that, look, there is a delay or he calculated the amount wrongly. Law is very clear. According to Pranay Sethi, the amount payable was 10 lakhs. He has not applied. He doesn't know the law. Put this in his file when he is being promoted. If the IO has filed within time, insurance has done within time, now the tribunal sits over the matter for 2 years. Then let it go in his personal file also to be seen when he is to be considered. But somebody has to do it, no? Who will take up whether the police, insurance and tribunal do it or not? And experience shows that it is not being done all over. Some of the states have, I think, Punjab and Haryana have taken up the matter. Some courts have taken up the matter there. High Court also took up the matter there. But here somebody has to take up the matter. Otherwise, it will remain a law only on the paper. So I think with this we have discussed now today's topic, expeditious disposal of motor accident claims.
So a lot of questions have poured in on the chat box.
Yes.
I will just read.
Yes.
But the way it has been an insightful. I'll read the question.
Yes.
I can also, Akshay, you also get unmuted. We can read certain questions. Bala Bhaskar, what is the manner of compensation in a permanent disability case? What is your take on that?
You see, today we are restricting only to the expeditious disposal of motor accident claims. About permanent disability compensation part, the law is well settled. We have to see into the functional disability and then assess on each case. So today we are not dealing with that topic. That is a separate topic.
Right. So I will ask the participants to only post the questions with related to what are the methods and what are the. They can also give suggestions as to whether if they have.
Today we are restricting only to that. You see, competition of compensation in death cases is almost, you can say, 100% certain. There's no variation. Anybody may do it, just do it in 2 minutes. And in injury cases, we have to see what is the functional disability, what is the expenditure, and all those things which will depend on each case, effects of each case. But that is separate area. Today we are not, that law is almost, you see, how to compute the compensation law is almost well settled. There's no, to my mind, there's no difficulty. Today we are dealing with a problem of delay, how to do it. What is the use of giving the money after 10 days, 10 years? The person has suffered injury today, he wants money, he's not able to survive on earth, on this planet. What should we do? So today we are restricting only discussion on this. If you have any question on this, please put it.
So Aditya Pandey asks, according to you, what would be the fate of claims arising out of the motor accidents happening during the period of lockdown when moving out was prohibited under the prohibited Motor Vehicle Act being a beneficial legislation? Claim would be paid, but will the claimant be also penalized for violation?
No, that is a separate thing. If the accident arises out of negligence, the compensation is payable. For compensation in motor accident law, we have to see whether the accident occurred due to the negligence. If it occurred due to the negligence, compensation has to be paid. If there's no negligence, then no fault liability money has to be paid. To my mind, the lockdown provision will not come in the way of compensation law. Should not come.
Maria Riyad, MACT scheme to be implemented as per directions issued down in MR Krishnamurthy case. I couldn't get it. While Vishal Agarwal, while expediting by way of DAAR, how to avoid fraud, especially of false involvement of vehicles causing accident?
You see, in Delhi also, many cases came to the notice where false claims were made by the collusion of IO and the claimants. Now, the Delhi High Court has passed very serious order that this is happening only because the insurance is not investigating. You see, when the DAR is filed, rather when the first intimation within 48 hours is given, insurance should immediately appoint an investigator to go and verify. And then when insurance receive the DAR, they have not merely to calculate the amount. They have to warn the investigator and surveyor to go there to the site. So therefore, the cases of false claims have come only because insurance companies have not discharged their duties. But now after the subsequent orders, now the insurance companies have made a protocol that in each case they are appointing the investigator to verify the claim. So then how can the false claim be made if the insurance companies also verify the claim?
So, invariably, actually, the questions which they have posted are in the normal. Amit, there was a meeting. So Amit says, in fact, even in Odisha Judicial Academy, such directions were issued for expeditious disposal, but was not implemented. What are your suggestions to take the things forward?
I have suggested a litigant or a lawyer who is very keen to have it implemented should file a RTI asking the police how many accidents in last 6 months, how many cases DAR filed. If not filed, please give the names of all SHOs who are responsible and all the joint commissioners who are responsible. Then similar RTI to insurance, then similar RTI to MSCTs also. Please tell us in your area how many accidents, whether DAR filed. If not filed, what action you have taken to ensure that DAR should have been filed with you in implementation. And then the matter can be taken up with the High Court, either on administrative.
Vishal, I have unmuted you. You can ask the question.
Sir, good evening, sir. Sir, so nice to see you. We've always been reading your judgments and it's always a pleasure. I am working quite a lot on the MSCT side and mostly for the insurance companies. So one of the questions is this, in fact, this issue was taken up by Honorable Justice Kanan on his own in an FA over here. And this went on where the DGPs of Punjab and Haryana both were implemented, a lot of reports received. Ultimately, the issue which was arising was, now there are places like 250 kilometers away from Chandigarh. Now, if some accident occurs there, it is very difficult to discover whether there is a false involvement of vehicle or not. It may not be possible in remote areas for the insurance companies to appoint an investigator immediately. So the basic thing which the courts tried was that we have a coordination with the police itself properly, that immediately they upload the documents on the internet, that the FIR is there, the DDR is there, the statement of the eyewitness is there to discover the frauds. But somehow we could not have it because this issue of huge pendency plagues our High Court also in this state as well. So we were looking to it, but somehow we could not get it resolved, though we were always following your footsteps over here. So if your suggestions could come, anything on that, sir.
I'm giving you a new suggestion, file a RTI and then take up the matter. Straight away, please tell me, cannot thereafter straight away contempt be filed? If there is a Supreme Court judgment saying that
That's
file
right.
starts within 30 days and it is not being done,
That's right, sir.
then the court will be in a different position, no?
That's right. That's right, sir.
Requesting the authorities will not do it. So file a RTI saying how many accidents, whether DAR filed, if not filed, please give the names of all those accidents, name of SHO of your, let's assume there are 100 accidents, then give the name of SHO in 100 cases, give the name of Joint Commissioner 100 cases.
That would be good, sir. I think we can try that, sir. Definitely, sir.
So
Definitely.
what they are doing, the RTI, then put a RTI to tribunal also what they are doing. If the tribunal is not able to do it, and you see, there can be cases also now the police does it, insurance tribunal doesn't do it. So, but somewhere the vigilant person has to take up the matter, no?
True. That's true.
So
That's true.
I'm giving you
I'm giving
you a suggestion.
I totally agree to say it. So we've always been, as I told you, we've always been appreciating you on this, and DAR has been your something which you've really given a lot to DAR, sir.
You see, this
Vishal, could you give the insights on DAR, because large number of participants? I will ask sir also. Large number of people, because students are also there, they would not know what is DAR.
You see, in this DAR, as I told you, first order was passed. This proceeding started in 2009, right? Now, this also, this entire, you can say, the procedure which we have built up is built up only because of the contempt proceedings. Kindly understand. You see, otherwise nobody can. The police was right in saying so. We will not implement. How can the police be forced to go beyond CRPC? But only on the basis that they committed contempt. They filed affidavit saying that we have filed AIR in 15,000 matters where it was none. Then this all stood up. So now kindly see in Rajesh Tyagi order, which we started in 2009, 16 December 2009 is the first order when the claims tribunal agreed procedure was formulated. Thereafter, we kept the matter pending for finding out as to how effective is this system. So we called the tribunals every 3 months to submit the report as to whether it is working well. We asked the insurance company to come up with their report, is it working well? We called for the litigants, and then whatever gaps and shortcomings we found in the system, we keep on modifying it. So this Rajesh Tyagi order starting in 2006, almost 100 orders have been passed. This agreed procedure, which was formulated in 2009, has been modified many times. If you see the judgment citation, I think Vikas will share with you.
Sir, we will be sharing in the WhatsApp group.
So if you go through the judgments and then subsequent orders, you can some more citations you can take from Akshay.
So I will ask Akshay, you can post it on the chat box.
So there are about 100 orders which have been passed. So we have tried to fill up the gaps and all the shortcomings. Matter is still pending. If anybody has got any suggestion that this system can further be improved, we can look into it. But question arises that somebody has to start the implementation, and somebody has to take up the matter where the implementation is not being done. And now in Delhi, I have seen the insurance company are now taking very seriously. Now they don't rely only on the police. So that collusion between the cartel between the police and some lawyers and litigant which was happening, that is stopped to a large extent. And wherever it has come to the notice, we have reported the matter. But that by itself is not sufficient to show that there was any shortcoming in this scheme. You see, this scheme has been prepared. Again, we come back to the system. These are simplest of the simple cases. Deciding a MSCT claim is even simpler than deciding a simple money oral loan suit also. What we are trying to find out, person has actually died. His age, his death cannot be faked, age cannot be faked, income cannot be faked, family members cannot be faked. Everything is there on record. We have to just calculate injury. We have injuries in front of us. He is amputed. We are saying he is amputed. His documents we are examined. We will calculate. You see, take all insurance claims other than MSCT. Only only I think 1 or 2% come to the consumer courts. The rest, they all are settled. No intervention of court is required. But when there's a road accident, 6 lakh is 6 lakh cases. How do we decide 6 lakh cases? How many judicial officers will be required? And once we incorporated 158 clause 6 and 166 clause 4, and the Motor Vehicles Act requires the criminal law to, the competition law to set into motion automatically with filing of AIR. Kindly see the judicial, the scheme of the statute. So statute required that FIR is filed, then AIR is filed. With the AIR, automatically competition law sets into motion. We have just developed that scheme, which is the statutory scheme. So instead of AIR, we have said file DAR. We have prepared a format of DAR. Everything is now formalized. So there is a format of intimation by the SHO to the tribunal and the insurance, format of the detailed accident report, format of the report of insurance, format of the written submissions of lawyers, format of the award, format of the records, format of the compliance report by tribunal to the High Court.
Vikas Sheel has given a suggestion. He says, respected sir, why not that every insurance of a vehicle should be linked with a FASTag, and every insurance company should send intimation if the vehicle is not renewed to the SSP or registration of vehicle authority for action in this regard?
No, that is very difficult. You see, two ways are possible. One, if you computerize, which they are actually doing it, if registration of, if the insurance is linked with the registration of every vehicle, then the government by a printout can find out how many vehicles are unregistered, are uninsured. That is one way of doing it. That is the easiest way of doing it. That should be done. But if that doesn't work, then the second is for checking. As on date, no checking is done. And third, a citizen can come to the court saying that, look, there is a violation of his fundamental right. No vehicle should be permitted to be put on the road. It is the duty of the government to ensure no insured vehicle is on the road. So if I am suffering because of it, then government should be responsible. But somebody has to take up that issue. No? Just think of it, how much serious violation it is there. You are walking on the road and trying to cross the road, and law requires all vehicles, only insured vehicles to be on the road, and 39% uninsured are there. Is it not your fundamental right violated? No vehicle can come on the road, and you have a right of road walking and crossing safe on road. And no uninsured, who will stop the uninsured vehicles on the road?
So we have unmuted Himanshu Kanda. He had two suggestions. Himanshu, you can post your suggestions. Himanshu Kanda.
Yes.
Good evening, sir. Respected Honorable Justice and Team Beyond CLC. I want to put up a suggestion that the government should make a plastic card which will contain whole details of car's document and driver's detail, which will reduce paperwork too, and everything will be online. And card is easy to carry rather than insurance paper, pollution certificate, and etc. What's your take on this, sir?
They are already doing it. They already have some plan on it. They are working on it. You see, they have made some suggestions. They are trying to computerize everything. You see, government is trying to computerize and link all the particulars of the vehicle in a computerized data. They are already working on it. You please find it out from the government.
Okay,
They
sir.
are already working on it. If
Thank you very much, sir.
that project ultimately gets successful, then that problem can be solved. But that we are hearing for a long time. So till now, that has not shown the results. Still, we have got 39% uninsured vehicles on road.
Thank you very much.
No, let's assume this is very senior doctor going on the road and hit by an uninsured vehicle. Nobody has any money to pay. What happens to the rights? And let's assume the injury case, very serious injury. Who pays? Nobody pays.
So one doesn't realize the value of insurance. This is just like the accident where there is a death or any accident. That family does meet, and let's assume the party who has caused the accident and he also is not insured. I can surely say, because we have also been practicing on this side, and once you represent such person, then in fact that family is more in a state of shock, because the amount of compensation to be paid by a person, sometimes it's not even acceptable. It looks, once you are paying yearly I have also seen large number of people saying you are doing every year insurance, but you are not claiming any claim. What is the fun of doing the insurance? But it is only when you bear that brunt or you are close by who does the insurance and he has to pay or not to pay, then he realizes what is the value of insurance. And that is why they say a stitch in time saves nine. The questions will continue to pour on. When the intent was that we should have a motor accidental claims expeditious disposal, I think that the participants would agree, and the smile on Mr. Virk, Mr. Sujoy Kantawala, the persons who have been regularly, shows that they have actually expeditiously learned the entire process, that how it can be done. The insights, the Delhi lawyers and the judicial side were quite aware. But the insights which you have given in a short and a crisp manner, I don't think that there could be any crispier way to do that. The notes what we have, the sir has shared, we will share it on the WhatsApp group, because in this group, some people say that they could not download it. So do stay connected on the WhatsApp group. We have posted on the in the chat box the number, and the video of this entire session would also be uploaded on the channel of YouTube, that is Beyond Law CLC. I will just unmute Akshay. Akshay can tell as to whether in fact he can upload all this. Akshay, we are unmuting you. Could you just tell it? Akshay is there.
Yes, sir. I'll be able to upload it.
So before we say a vote of thanks, you can upload that. So it was a session, as was the name, and so was the manner in which the entire process has been explained to us. I'm quite sure that the participants who have actually watched us on the this application as well as on the Facebook, they would have got insights which invariably one does chat. Being a lawyer, I will say chat in their tea groups, etc. That this suggestion should be there, and it is actually being learned today. That what we were discussing is actually on the judicial side, because certain aspects are not within the knowledge. I on behalf of Beyond Law CLC and ULS Punjab University Chandigarh, thank all the participants who have participated with all that energy. Our sessions are around 75th since we have started during this lockdown. But everyone, we are quite happy that everyone does participate actively to have the insights which do not. Large number of people are saying kindly add this number. That number you should send the ping on the WhatsApp, that is 98725 03300 for joining on such sessions. I have been holding such webinars, but rare is the occasion where people actually say that we want to be connected with these webinars. It shows that the participants have actually liked the insights what you have given. I will ask Sujoy Kantawala, who is also being a regular participant, and in fact, he was one of the speakers, to say a formal vote of thanks on behalf of Beyond Law CLC. Sujoy, we are unmuting you.
5 minutes more, and
Yes,
one area which I have not covered.
Uh,
See, this judgments have got one more area. One more difficulty which we found, that the entire compensation amount which was awarded to the claimant does not reach him. So, and at times the money, even if it reaches him, the entire money is then that poor person doesn't know how to handle that money. You see, now when we calculate the compensation, for example, a person is earning 10,000 rupees, then we assume that he must be spending 1/4 on himself and giving 3/4 to his family of 4 to 6 persons, and that money will go to him every month so that he is able to survive. So meaning that if we give 10 lakh rupees to a person, now that person should get 10,000 rupees every month so that they can sustain. But many times we found that either the money initially, part of the large chunk of the money is taken away, or otherwise he spends, or the way it is done, the money is over in few months, and he is again at the suffering point. So after examining the claimants, then this court found how to plug this and how to safeguard the interest of the poor claimant. So then Delhi High Court formulated a scheme which has been reaffirmed by the Supreme Court starting from 2016 onwards, and even in the last order it has been verified. Now what we have done, for example, 10 lakh rupees is awarded to a victim. Now we first call the victim to open a savings bank account near the place of his residence. meaning thereby if a poor claimant, his person has died and his family is staying in, widow is staying in Darbhanga, so the widow has to open a savings bank account in a nationalized bank in Darbhanga. Then we direct that bank that please don't issue any checkbook or debit card to the widow, and make an endorsement on the passbook so that nobody, no middleman takes away post-dated checks or keeps the debit card and withdraws the entire money. So the bank makes an endorsement on the passbook that no checkbook or debit card has been given. Then we call the widow and ask her and see her condition as to how much her husband was earning, how much is the monthly expenditure, what is their status in life, whether they are staying in a rented accommodation or they have their own house. And then accordingly, on an average, for example, if it is 10 lakh award, we direct the bank attached to the tribunal to transfer 1 lakh rupees to that savings bank account in Darbhanga, and remaining 9 lakh is kept in 100 FDRs of 9,000 each for the period 1 month to 100 months. If the expenses are more, we can make it 90 FDRs of 10,000 each, or if expenditure further more, we can divide into 12,000 per month. And these FDRs, original FDRs, is not to be issued by the Delhi bank. Only a statement will be issued, and the bank will automatically transfer every month that 10,000 rupees plus interest thereon to the savings bank account of the widow at Darbhanga. So meaning thereby, the widow will get 1 lakh rupees today in her bank account in Darbhanga, and every month she will get 9,000 or 10,000, 12,000 per month with interest thereon. So meaning thereby, if it is 100 months, then in 100 months that 10,000 rupees or 9,000 will become 15,000 rupees. So it will take care of the inflation. If the person would have been alive, then also the salary would have increased in this manner only. So now, first of all, no joint accounts are being opened. Number 2, bank account only near the place of residence. Number 3, no checkbook or debit card, so nobody can take post-dated checks or debit card. No FDRs are physically issued. Number 4, the widow has never to come to the bank again of the tribunal, and automatically she gets the money for that period. In another case, let's assume there is a widow and 2 minor children also. So let's assume we have got 15 lakh rupees and 2 minor children, 1 daughter, 1 son. So we'll say 1 lakh now, 9 lakh will be in FDRs, then 2 lakh rupees in the name of the minor son till he attains majority. When he attains majority, then interest portion will be released to him, and 2 lakh will be kept in 20 FDR of 10,000 each per month. So that for 20 months, the son gets the money which he can put for his education. And 3 lakh in the name of the daughter till she attains majority with cumulative interest. So when FDR matures, interest amount is released to the daughter, and 30 lakh is kept in 30 FDRs of 10,000 each, or 60 FDRs of 5,000 each. So if she gets 5,000 for 60 months, meaning that by 5 years, she can do her education after attaining majority. So this scheme of Delhi High, and then we called all the 21 banks and Indian Bank Association that you please issue a scheme in which all these features are inbuilt, so that in every case we don't have to pass this order. So on the direction of Delhi High Court, all the 21 banks have issued a scheme which is part of the 2018 last order, and now the tribunal don't have to put all these conditions. So otherwise we used to put all these 10 conditions. Now all these 10 conditions are inbuilt in that scheme. So in that scheme, everything is inbuilt. So with this, the pilferage has gone. Number 2, those poor people are not deprived, cannot be deprived knowingly or unknowingly of their money, and they can't spend that money on anything. And their survival is very important, so that they live alive on this planet and they get the money as the disease would have given it to him. So this portion I had left out. It was a little separate area, so I thought I will share this also before we close. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The whatever gray areas were there, you have actually made it much clearer. Before I will ask Sujoy to this thing, because I had been connecting through Akshay, so I've just unmuted Akshay. I would like to thank him and give his insights. What has been his experience working under your aegis? Akshay? Akshay Chaudhary. Akshay is there. Akshay, you are on the board.
स्टिकर से क्या है इसमें?
So probably Akshay has not been able to. I will ask Sujoy Kantawala. He has sent a message that his mic is not working.
Oh.
So once we are having a session on motor accidents, so there are bound to be certain accidents while participation also. Sujoy is laughing like anything. Sujoy, a formal vote of thanks from Sujoy Kantawala. He's practicing at Delhi.
Good evening, Lordship. I am a counsel practicing in Bombay High Court, and like the hundreds of participants on the web chat today, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. The smile, your smile was constant throughout, and the way you have explained to all of us, we all have given up our Sunday afternoon nap only to hear you, sir, and it was so well worth it. I once again thank you from the bottom of my heart. Sir, the last examples that you gave and the justice delivery system example, that respect and honor to a woman who has lost her husband, to children who have lost their father, and the actual justice which is seen to be done by opening of bank accounts. The woman retains her respect and honor. There is no exploitation. That is really heartwarming. And I think it is an example for other states and other high courts and other institutions to follow. So that is a very, very important, and because I think this is a sterling example that His Lordship has given, where the banks were called by the honorable judges, and thereafter a mechanism has been worked out that as to how and on what basis the amount will be invested. There will be no perforation somewhere, no hole somewhere, and nobody will be able to pilfer this amount which is to go for a particular use. Sir, hats off to you, and thanks a lot once again for having enlightened us. Thank you very much.
So before we could part, Akshay said that his mic has been corrected. It actually goes again with the session itself, the expeditious disposal. So we couldn't complete the disposal of the session until unless we had they say icing on the cake, that is Akshay. And time and again, the participants are writing, kindly add, very difficult to add from the chat box. Those whosoever will want to connect for the latest webinars, connect on the mobile number which has been posted. Tomorrow, 11:30 a.m., we have a session on Hindu Succession Act by Mr. N. Manohar from Madras High Court. He is a well-known academician come lawyer. So I will request everyone to participate to have the insights of Hindu Succession Act. Akshay, before we part, so as they say, started from Midda sir and ending from the research person from your officer. Thank you, everyone. Akshay,
yes, sir.
wrap up from your side.
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah.
Good evening, His Lordship. Good evening, Mr. Respected Vikas Sarsad, sir, and good evening, all the respected members. I've been working with Justice J.R. Midda since past 3.5 years, and it has been my privilege and an honor to work under a person who is extremely humble, extremely meticulous with his work, and works beyond the calling of the job, I would say. This area, Motor Vehicles Act, is not very fascinating for everyone, and most of the people who deal with this subject are either bound to deal with it or are forced to deal with it. It's not a choice which they make. But I would say, as a judge, Justice Midda has done a tremendous work, and a path-breaking judgments have been given by him to change the system. Not to, like, I would say every judge who gets the opportunity to give judgment on a case can pass a single judgment affecting both the parties. But if you will read the order sheets of Rajesh Tyagi, you will see it is not a case where litigation was done. It was a case.
Probably, Akshay, you have posted on the chat box?
No, sir.
No, this judgment of Rajesh Tyagi,
yes.
probably.
Yes, there are citations of it in the notes. I have uploaded the file in the chat box.
You are not on the video. Please put on your video.
Sir, my camera seems to have some issue. I have tried it 2 times. I don't want to disconnect it. That's why.
All right. Continue.
I was on the point of order sheets. If you will see what has happened actually in Rajesh Tyagi was not the fact that a judgment was being given, but actually there was a battle between within the system to change it, because everyone is not very circumvent to change. Like, for example, lawyers and the system. So when this Rajesh Tyagi system came into the picture, not everyone was very welcoming about it. For example, a lot of work went to the police, a lot of work of insurance people and advocates was getting reduced. The system was getting cleared. So it takes a lot of courage and I would say a lot of heart to do this kind of a job, to pass some directions which will not even affect that case, but will affect the future of these cases. I would say that a case which takes 10 years, a normal MSCT compensation case, now takes 6 months, 7 months. The satisfaction which you get watching those poor people get their money, their due, is immense. Is beyond comparison. To see those eyes when they say they get their money on time, it's a big deal. It's a very big deal for them. 5,000, 10,000 rupees doesn't matter a lot for a lot of people, but for them, it's everything. It's everything. Sometimes people come to the court that they don't have the money to return back, and sometimes the council says, accommodate me for 2 days or for 1 week. Then my lord usually puts a question to the victims: do you have anything to live in the city? Do you have the money to stay in the city? And when he says, I don't have it, then the date is given for the next day, not after 1 month or 6 weeks. These things are unheard of, which I have seen. And I mean, in our court, for example, you can say 7 to 8 minutes it takes to decide a case. It's not a big thing. 7 to 8 minutes is a very fast time to decide an MSCPT appeal, which is been sitting on dockets for past 8 years. And I am being very honored, and I was very, you would say, lucky to have witnessed this in my lifetime, to work with a judge who has been working beyond his calling, beyond his what was required him to do. I would say, with all due respect, I don't know whether I'm crossing a line or not right now on commenting upon his work, but I would say he was not supposed to do this. He could have decided that case one way or the other and given the judgment in the favor of the plaintiff or the defendant and have moved on to the next case. But he decided to change the system. Not every judge does it. And it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of, I mean, if you see Rajesh Tyagi, this case has been going from past 11 years. The kind of patience it requires to deal with this case, if you'll see, a barrage of advocates came from Mr. Luthra to a lot of senior advocates came in these cases. And if you'll see, the insurance people were not very welcoming about these changes, because when you try to change the system, everyone gets affected from their normal routine and everyone is not very comfortable about it. So despite these problems, Justice Midha continued with his work. And today we are standing after 11 years of work on a position where today an accident takes place in Delhi. A person has the possibility at least to get the money within 120 days. Before him, this possibility even didn't exist. That is huge. And the best part is, today his model has been accepted all over India. The praises are coming from every corner. Today, this field, which is so dry, and you would say it is not even taught properly in law schools. If you ask a person who is a law student in 5th year, how he will get compensation in a death case or in an accident case, he will not be able to tell you very clearly. But today, it's possible. So I will end up on this note only, that extremely thankful to Mr. Vikas and Mr. Midha sir to giving me this opportunity. Thank you, sir.
Before we part, only 2 things. Like Akshay said, the sensitization about how it has to be expeditiously decided, probably large number of people have been sensitized. The another issue is, they say today during the lockdown, sanitization is also important. So sensitization and sanitization, at least today in today's era, will go time to time. And then he says that one is the ordinary working of any lawyer. Maybe it's me. It's very easy said than done. But to become an extraordinary, that extra is the entire hitch, which makes you an extra mile. as they say that when Neil Armstrong stepped in one step, it said that extra step changed the mankind. So this direction issued in Rajesh Tyagi or all the session, I'm quite sacrosanct that it will go a large way. And the expeditious disposal before we part, I think Akshay Chaudhary, what I could connect it from his WhatsApp profile is on the video. So he was just waiting that everything should be connected before we say. So they say that once you are living in the right aura, everything goes in the right direction. Thank you, Akshay. Thank you, all the participants. Stay safe, stay healthy, all the participants. And needless to say, we are all thankful to Justice J.R. Midha to give us the road which was untreaded and which was not traveled. But I'm quite sure the roadmap given by him would act just like the lights in the dark alleys, which one could travel easily. Thank you, everyone. Stay blessed, stay healthy, stay home. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.